Hello, happy Friday. Sorry, I didn't realize my face was not on screen when I went live. So that's not really helpful, is it? Um, yeah, I feel like I haven't done this in a little while. So I'm just going to check that it's all good on the platforms. Hope we're all having a good Friday so far, being productive and then getting ready for a nice weekend, I hope. I wanted to talk today about my roadmap program because I think it's just a really good time to talk about it at the moment, given the COP talks that are happening and the discussions around carbon and how businesses can understand their scope 1, 2, 3 emissions as well as embedded emissions. The conversation is just becoming more and more in depth, and something really, really useful for many businesses. In fact, every business has a carbon footprint, right? Whether you have actual physical assets or physical products and buildings, or whether you just operate yourselves because you yourself as a person, you emit carbon in just your day-to-day choices and traveling, the resources that you use to just execute your work, whether it's a computer or paper. So whether it's small or very large, we all have a carbon footprint. So understanding that is so important. And I think this program is a really great way to do it. But I think first we need to understand what are the emissions we're looking at. So my program looks at scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions, so not embedded emissions, which not all businesses are really talking about yet either. But the scope 1, 2, and 3. So scope 1 is emissions that come from running the equipment at your site or through your operations. So if, for example, you had boilers or vehicles, they tend to emit their own emissions while being operated on site. And so that would be emissions created on site from operating new equipment. And then there's a scope 2 emissions that's from purchased electricity or energy. So you purchase it from obviously a power power generator. And so that in itself obviously has its own set of emissions from creation through to transportation, through the infrastructure to get to your point of the plug and where you use it. So that's scope 2 emissions. And then scope 3, which is a lot more complex and it's where it gets quite tricky, is really emissions not directly associated with the company operations directly on site, but to do with the supply chain, your customers and suppliers, and really how your products are used and disposed of. So that part starts to get a little bit trickier. But what my program really aims to do is run you through a 6-week comprehensive, involved process. So really, I try to get very involved with my clients, and I think that's really important to empower people so that they understand what's going on, and that they're empowered and inspired to keep that process going. Because once I do my job and I walk away, you need to know how to keep that going and how to really understand it and not just have somebody come in and tell you what to do, but really you learn from the process as well. So what you can sort of expect from the 6 weeks is we will understand your boundaries and your goals as a business, or where you really want to focus on understanding the emissions from, and then establish what the baseline emissions are from your operations. So really lay out the map of your operations and the baseline emissions that you're currently emitting. And then we look at the key areas of emissions, which is the 3rd week essentially. And then into the 4th week, we set out an optimization roadmap. So how best you can optimize your operations and improve efficiency, integrate systems, and therefore reduce your emission profile. Week 5 is the technical feasibility, because you really want to develop out the opportunities that are key for your business. Out of, say, the 5 opportunities we identify, maybe 3 of them have need a lot more detail in terms of the technical and economic understanding around what's the technology out there and what it's going to cost and how we're going to see return on investment for your business. So that's 5th step. And finally, we want to measure and verify. So ensure that your business is, once you implement those opportunities, actually achieving the goals set. And if it's not achieving the goals set, then why are we falling short? So try and understand essentially the shortfall as well. So through this process, there are a lot of outcomes from it. But that's essentially the 6 core steps. And we understand the opportunities and the cost savings. You find ways to reduce emissions, of course. You'll have me, a sustainability expert, in your back pocket, really kind of working directly on the ground with you, garnering insight from yourselves and your people that are on the ground, because I obviously have a really great understanding of sustainability, but on the ground, your own operations, you're going to have the best understanding of what your business faces on a day-to-day basis. And so it's really about collaborating there in a very strong and effective way. And then we help you through that process of understanding the implementation roadmap and keeping your business accountable and driving that agenda forward. So that's really what the program is about. I've worked with a few businesses on this program, and so far I've only worked with a couple of manufacturing businesses, but it's really applicable to any business. And so if this is something of interest and you've been talking about looking at your emissions profile and you're ready to take some action on it, or you just want to know a little bit more, then definitely get in touch. I would love to share some information with you and talk to you about how I can help your business and really transform your business towards your roadmap to net zero. So hope this has been helpful for you, and looking forward to connecting with some of you on this. Hope you have a wonderful Friday, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.